Rev the Unboxer. In this video, I'm going to give you an unboxing to show you guys what's inside, as well as the experience of it, as well as a quick setup and my first impression of the brand new phone from Samsung, the S20 Ultra. Just to summarize, this phone is a spec beast. Samsung threw literally everything into this, both in terms of size, specs, number of cameras, and megapixels. And also, it's the most expensive Samsung smartphone, starting at $1,400. Looking at the box, well, the experience is pretty much similar with the previous generations. Nothing fancy here, so you have the S20 logo right here, and you have the S20 Ultra 5G down here, because it is a 5G smartphone. So let's go ahead and get started here and unbox the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. So I'm just going to open this up and take a look at the contents inside before we do a quick setup and my first impressions of the main features and selling point of the phone. So as you can see, I got the Cosmic Grey model here. Between the two colors of Cosmic Grey and Cosmic Black that Samsung offers here in Malaysia, I have to say that the Cosmic Grey is by far my favorite. It reminds me of a matte grey color used on sports car, which looks cool. As for the charger that comes in the box, is a 25 watts charger, and you can also charge up to 45 watts, but that's gonna cost you an extra $50 to get from Samsung. Other than that, you get the USB-C type cable. And last but not least, you get the AKG earbuds, which in my experience sounds pretty good. It's really good that at this price point, Samsung includes in the box a really solid earbuds that connects directly via USB-C. And now it's time to boot this thing up for the first time. As you can see with this year's smartphone, Samsung has decided to get rid of the dedicated Bixby button and put everything on the right side of the phone, which makes more sense. The first thing you're greeted with in the setup process is the language. So as usual, set your country, your language, your keyboard and everything. Moving on, you have the option of migrating your data from an old data, whether it's from another Samsung or another Android phone, and even an iPhone. It's called Samsung Smart Switch. In my case, I'm downloading everything manually. Next step is to set up your security. There is a fingerprint scanner, facial recognition, or a normal passcode. Yes, you can unlock using facial unlock, but it's not as secure as something like Face ID on iPhone because it doesn't have a sensor aside from the front-facing camera. Personally, I will use the fingerprint scanner for biometrics, and the fingerprint sensor that comes with it is the same version ultrasonic one that you find on the S10 and S10 Plus. There is no hardware improvement on this, so the speed is still pretty decent, however it can still be improved in compared to other competition. So after the initial setup is complete, the first thing I would do is to customize to take advantage of the features that comes with the phone. In my case, I immediately changed the settings on display to dark mode. I think the first thing that you need to decide is what resolution you want to use on this phone. Whether in Full HD+, which is the default out of the box, or the full resolution of 3200 by 1440. However, one of the biggest features of this phone, and probably what a lot of people paid for, is the 120Hz refresh rate on the display. Out of the box, the screen is set to 60Hz, which is what most smartphones are using for the past few years. But if you want to take advantage of the full 120Hz refresh rate, you can only use it with the screen set to Full HD+. Samsung says it's to save battery, which I don't mind because the screen still looks great. And I feel that having 120Hz is worth the compromise. It just makes the phones feel smoother and faster. Now that the setup is complete, let's go and take a look on what you get for that money. So for the design, I think Samsung kept it safe this time around, but made some minor changes to make this phone really great. Unlike the Note 10, which has the Aura Glow, the CD-like finish, they kept it simple with the S20 Ultra, which I prefer actually. Again, this muted Cosmic Grey looks really good as I like things super minimal, but of course all that is personal preference. Obviously we got this really large camera sensor at the back, which I will talk in a bit. But when you look at the front, this is where Samsung really shines. We all know that Samsung makes the best display in the market, and this one is the best yet. The S20 Ultra has a massive 6.9-inch Infinity O display, bigger than the biggest screen of last year, the Note 10 Plus. Is this a hint that the Note 20 will come with a 7-inch display? Anyways, it's a very tall device, even taller than my iPhone XS Max. This makes operating in one hand impossible. However, web browsing on this is amazing, as you can see more of your content, say if you're scrolling through Twitter, but watching any media on landscape mode just gives you a larger letterboxing on the sides. With the beautiful display, it also has a 120Hz refresh rate to match, which is twice as fast as before. You will absolutely notice the difference when comparing with a slower display. Unfortunately, I can't show you in this 30fps YouTube video, but in person, the smoothness is addictively amazing. To finish off the design, they kinda toned down how far the screen wraps around the side. I'm not a big fan of the previous Samsung phones with the wrap around display. It was almost too much. This year, it's a more flatter display, which I like. And to power this huge 6.9-inch 120Hz bright OLED display, a 5000 mAh battery, which makes the phone a bit thicker, but for more juice, I'll take it. Moving to the specs, the Ultra is a beast. It's packing the Exynos 990, 120GB storage plus a microSD card expansion up to 1TB, and a 12GB of RAM. I know, it's more than most laptops out there. And also, here in Malaysia, the Ultra is the only S20 that supports 5G. The S20 and the S20 Plus is the Exynos version that doesn't support 5G. Although, if it was me, I won't be buying this phone for the 5G. So what makes this phone Ultra? Well, the most Ultra feature of this phone is obviously the camera. You get a quad camera setup, but not just any camera. The S20 Ultra has a whopping 108MP main camera sensor, then you have a 12MP ultra wide, a depth sensor, and the rectangular one that says space zoom, that is the 48MP 10x hybrid optic telephoto lens. I know, right? It's crazy! So you have a 10x zoom plus a 10x multiplier of software that will get you a ridiculous 100x zoom. And if that's not enough, you also get an 8K 24fps video support on the main camera. Oh, and the camera on the front is a 40MP selfie camera. Yep, Ultra. So basically, Ultra is Samsung's way of saying that this is the best that they can offer. So with the numbers of 120Hz, 5000 mAh, 108MP, 8K, it all in one package, it should translate to be a perfect smartphone, right? Well, it's a question that I'm going to find out when I do my full review on this phone, and probably some camera comparisons along the way. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss that. Until then, let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you want me to do on the S20 Ultra. And also, feel free to let me know, which one do you prefer? The S20 or the S20 Ultra? Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.